Now, this is Second Ezra 5. I'm not going to read all of it now. I will record and most likely read the entire chapters on this channel. But right now, I'm just going to I'm going to leave a few things. I'm going to read a few things. I think I'll start with 17. Now, this is what I was talking about when I say that I was hurt, I was angry, I was feeling some type of way. That's why I'm going to read you guys all of Ezra, because a lot of you probably haven't heard it. I read a little bit of Ezra, but I don't remember reading all this. So we're going to start with 2nd Ezra chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 15. But the angel that had come to talk with me took hold of me, strengthened me, and set me on my feet. The next night, Phaltiel, who was a leader of the people, came to me and asked, "Where have you been? And why do you look so sad? Don't you know that the people of Israel in the land of their exile have been put in your care? So get up and eat. Do not abandon us like a shepherd leaving his flock to the attacks of savage wolves." "Leave me alone," I answered. That's what Ezra said. "Do not come near me for the next 7 days. Then come back." So he left. Then, crying and mourning, I fasted 7 days as the angel Uriel had commanded me to do. I'm going to say that again. That's verse 20 of 2nd Ezra chapter 5. Then, crying and mourning or weeping, I fasted 7 days as the angel Uriel had commanded me to do. So there's this, he says this, I've read this something like this at least 3 times. So there is some significance to crying and mourning and fasting. So 21. At the end of the 7 days, I was again deeply troubled, but I recovered my ability to think, and again I began to speak with the Elohim Most High. "Most High," I said, "from all the forest and plants on earth you have chosen this one vine. From all the countries of the world you have chosen this one small land. From all the flowers in the world you have chosen this one lily. From all the water in the deep oceans you have filled up this one river. From all the cities that have ever been built you have set apart this one city, Jerusalem, as your own." He's talking about us. "From all the birds that were created you chose this one dove. From all the animals that were made you chose this one lamb. From all the nations of the world you chose this one nation to be your own, and you gave its people your law, which is honored by people everywhere. And now, Elohim, since all of this is true," now here's the part that is hard, that was hard for me to take, starting at verse 28. "And now, Elohim, since all of this is true, why have you dishonored this one people more than all others by handing them over to the many nations? Why have you scattered your own people who believed in your covenants? Why have you let them be trampled by people who rejected your promises? If you are so angry with your own people, you yourself ought to punish them." When I had finished speaking, the angel who had come to me on a previous night was sent to me again. He said, "Listen carefully to me, and I will teach you more." "Please go on, sir," I said. So he continued, "Are you worried about the people of Israel? Do you think you love them more than Elohim, who made them?" "No, sir," I replied. I spoke as I did because I was so confused and upset. You can tell he's speaking out of anger because those thoughts that I had, I know they came out of anger. I am always troubled whenever I try to think about the ways of the Elohim, our Most High, or to understand even a small part of what he does. "You cannot understand," he answered. And I asked, "Why not, sir? In that case, why was I born? Why didn't I die before I was born? Then I wouldn't have seen the sufferings and troubles of the people of Israel." The angel said to me, I will answer you if you can do the following things. Tell me how many people are yet to be born. Tell me how many people, collect scattered raindrops for me. Make dead flowers bloom again. Open the rooms where the winds are locked up and make them blow for me. Show me the picture of a sound. If you can do these things, I will answer your questions about the sufferings of the people of Israel. I answered, Lord and Master, no one can do these things except the Most High, who is not confined to this world. How can I give you any kind of answer? What do I know? He continued, you could not do even one of the things that I asked you to do? How can you expect to understand the Elohim's judgments, or why the Elohim has promised his love to his people? Then I said, but Lord Elohim, your concern is with the people who will be alive at the end of the world. What will happen to those who live before that time? What about us? What about those who came before us and those who will live after us? He answered me, the final judgment can be compared to a circle. And just as a circle has no beginning or end, so those who come early will not be too early, and those who come late will not be too late. Okay, now, told me that one day you'd be a creature that I lived. I'm going to just keep going here. Okay, so now we're going to go to 2nd Esdras chapter 6. All right. I'm not going to read everything. I'm going to read some specific things. So I'm just going to scroll down through here. You guys can always pause and read through here. I definitely suggest that. Now, I'm going to read this. Verse 6. Even then, I decided that since I and I alone had created the world, I and I alone would bring it to an end. Then I asked, how long a period of time will divide the ages? When will the first age end and the next age begin? He answered, the interval will be no longer than that between Abraham and Abraham. He was the grandfather of both Jacob and Esau. And when they were born, Jacob was holding Esau's heel. Esau represents the end of this age, and Jacob represents the beginning of the new age. So if Jacob's hand is the beginning and Esau's heel is the end, do not try to find a space in between. Wow. So that means this is going to happen right away, because Jacob already had his hand around Esau's heel. So that means the end and the beginning of the two worlds are together. There isn't any space in between. It just happens. That's what I'm getting it. Because he's saying don't try to find a space in between. Lord and Master, I said, please hear my request. On that earlier night you showed me some of the signs of the end. Now please show me the rest. Stand up, he said, and you will hear a very loud voice. Okay, let's go further. I'm going to start at 18. It said, the time is near when I will come to judge the people living on the earth. I will punish those who have hurt others with their injustice. Jerusalem's humiliation will come to an end, and this age which is about to pass away will have the final seal put on it. Then I will give the following signs. The books will be opened across the sky for all to see. That's something I never heard until I read this. Children only a year old will speak. Pregnant women will give birth after only 3 or 4 months, and their premature babies will live and run about. I actually knew a 1-year-old that talked. And when I say that this was like over 10 years ago, this girl talked like she was 14 or 15. She spoke perfect, proper English. It was a little black girl, a little Israelite. She spoke perfect, proper English. I was shocked. She was like, I think she was older than this. She wasn't 2 years old. She was probably like a year and some months. She spoke perfect English. I remember, I never forgot that. I never heard a child that young talk before, let alone to speak perfect English. Okay, so planted fields will suddenly become bare, and full barns will suddenly become empty. Then the trumpet will sound, and sudden terror will grip the heart of everyone when they hear it. Friends will fight like enemies, and the earth and its people will be terrified. Rivers will stop flowing and stand still for 3 hours. Those who survive all these things that I have predicted will be rescued when I bring to an end this world that I created. They will see those who never died but were taken up alive into heaven, and I'm assuming like Enoch. The hearts and minds of people on earth will be changed. Evil will be destroyed and deceit eliminated. Faith will grow strong. Corruption will be overcome, and truth, which has not produced fruit for so long, will make itself felt again. All right, I'm going to skip down. We're still skipping down. Okay. Wow. Okay, now I want you guys to hear this. I'm going to start at verse 54. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6. Verse 54. More important than all of these, you created Adam and put him in charge of everything that you had made. And all of us, the people you have chosen, are descended from him. O Elohim, I have told you all this because you said that you created this first world for the sake of your people. You said that in spite of their great numbers, all the other nations which descended from Adam are nothing, worth no more than a drop of water, no more than spit. I'm going to read that again. Okay. I was at 54. More important than all of these, you created Adam and put him in charge of everything that you had made. And all of us, the people you have chosen, are descended from him. O Elohim, I have told you all this because you said that you created this first world for the sake of your people. You said that in spite of their great numbers, all the other nations which descended from Adam are nothing, worth no more than a drop of water, no more than spit. But now, Elohim, those nations that are considered as nothing are ruling over us and destroying us. We are your people, and you have called us your firstborn, your only child, your witness, your loved one. But we have been handed over to the power of these other nations. If this world was really created for the sake of your people, why don't we have possession of it? How much longer must we wait? Now, I'm only going to read a little more of this. So now we're at 2nd Esdras chapter 7. When I had finished speaking, the same angel that had been sent to me on the earlier nights appeared again. He said, "Stand up, Ezra, and listen to what I have come to tell you." "Go ahead, sir," I said. He continued, "Picture in your mind a broad, immense sea spreading over a vast area, but with an entrance no wider than a river. No one who wishes to enter that sea, whether to visit it or control it, can reach its broad expanse of water without passing through the narrow entrance. Or take another example. Picture a city built on a plain. The city is full of all kinds of good things, but the entrance to it is narrow and steep, with fire on one side and deep water on the other. The one path between the fire and the water is so narrow that only one person at a time may walk on it. If anyone inherits this city, he cannot take possession of his inheritance without passing through this dangerous entrance. Wow. I just realized something there. That is right, sir, I said. That is how it is with the people of Israel. He added, oh, that's what I realized. A lot of the stuff we go through, fire on one side and deep water on the other side and a narrow entrance. All right, so I made this world for their sake. Let me go back to 10 so you can hear it. That is right, sir. I said, that is how it is with the people of Israel. He added, I made this world for their sake. But when Adam broke my commands, the world came under my judgment. Then the entrances into this world were made narrow and difficult to travel. They were rough, dangerous, and few in number. But the entrances to the great world to come are wide and safe and lead to immortality. Well, everyone who lives must walk the narrow and meaningless ways of this world in order to receive the blessings stored up in the world to come. So Ezra, why are you upset and disturbed by the thought that you are mortal and must die? Why don't you think about the age to come rather than the present age? I answered, Lord and Master, in your law you said that the righteous would receive all these blessings, but that the wicked would perish. The righteous then can endure all the difficulties of this narrow way because they look forward to the broad and open life of the future. But the wicked must pass through the narrow way without any hope of seeing the broad open life. The angel replied, Do you think you are a better judge than the Most High? Do you think you are wiser than the Most High? It is better to let many people of the present age perish than to allow them to neglect the law that the Elohim has given them. Elohim has given clear commandments to everyone coming into this world, telling them what they should do to obtain life and to avoid punishment. I'm going to read that again. Elohim has given clear commandments to everyone coming into this world. What does that mean? That sounds like he's giving you commandments before you have even gotten here. It says the Most High has given clear commandments to everyone coming into this world, telling them what they should do to obtain life and to avoid punishment. But the wicked would not listen and refuse to obey him. In their foolishness, they have made their own wicked and deceitful plans. They denied the existence of our Elohim, the Most High, and refused to follow his ways. They have rejected his law, refused to accept his promises, disobeyed his decrees, and failed to do what he commanded. That's the reason, Ezra, that there is emptiness for the empty and fullness for the full. The time is coming when these signs will take place. The invisible city will appear, and the land that is now hidden will be seen. Everyone who survives the calamities I have predicted will also see the wonderful things I will do. My son, the Messiah, will be revealed, together with those who come with him. He will bring 400 years of happiness to all these survivors. Well, at the end of that time, my son, the Messiah, and all human beings, will die. Wait a minute. Let me read that again. At the end of that time, my son, the Messiah, and all human beings will die. Then the world will return to its original silence, and for 7 days it will be like it was at the beginning. No one will be left alive. After 7 days, this corrupt age will pass out of existence, and a new age will be awakened. The ground will give up the dead who sleep there in silence, and the souls of the dead will be released from the places where they have been kept. Elohim, the Most High, will appear on his judgment seat. Mercy and patience will vanish completely. Wow. Okay. And be replaced by judgment. Truth and faithfulness will once again stand firm. The good and bad that people have done will be fully revealed, and reward and punishment will follow immediately. The pit of torment, the fires of hell will appear, and opposite them, the paradise of joy and rest. Then Elohim Most High will say to the nations that have been raised from the dead, "Look, I am the one whom you have denied and refused to serve. It is my commands that you have rejected. Look around you. There is joy and peace in one direction, fire and torment in the other." That's what he will say to them on Judgment Day. On Judgment Day, there will be no sun, moon, or stars, no cloud, thunder, or lightning, no wind, water, or air, no darkness, evening or morning, no summer, spring, or winter, no heat, frost, or cold, no hail, rain, or dew, no noon, night, or dawn, and no daylight, brightness, or light. The only light will be the dazzling brightness of the Most High, making it possible for everyone to see. The judgment will last 7 years. That's the arrangement I have made for Judgment Day. But I have revealed these things only to you. Then I said, Lord, I repeat what I said earlier. How fortunate are the people who can live now and obey your commands. But what about those for whom I have been praying? There is no one in the present generation who has not sinned, no one who has not broken your covenant. Now I understand that the world to come will bring joy to only a few, but torment to many. The evil impulse within us has grown, and it has led us away from the Elohim's ways, brought us to ruin, put us on the way to death and destruction, and taken us far from life. It has destroyed not only a few, but almost everyone who was ever created. Listen to me, the angel said, and I will teach you further and correct your thinking. Because only a few will be saved. Elohim created 2 worlds instead of only one. What? Because only a few will be saved, Elohim created 2 worlds instead of only one. As you say, only a few people are righteous, but there are large numbers of wicked people. But listen, if you had only a few precious stones, would you add lumps of lead and clay to them in order to have more? Surely no one would do that, sir, I answered. Take another illustration, he continued. The earth itself will give you an answer if you humbly ask it if you humbly ask it whether it produces more gold, silver, copper, iron, lead, or clay. There is more silver than gold, more copper than silver, more iron than copper, more lead than iron, and more clay than lead. So judge for yourself which are more desirable and valuable, common things or rare things. I answered, Lord and Master, the common things are cheap. It is the rare things that are valuable. All right, he replied. So draw the logical conclusion. The person who has what is scarce has more reason to be pleased than the person who has what is plentiful. It's the same with the judgment that I have promised. I will be pleased with the few who will be saved, because they are the ones who now praise and honor me and make my name known. I will not be sad about the large number of people who will be lost, because even now they last no longer than a vapor. They disappear like fire and smoke. They catch fire, blaze up, and quickly go out. Then I said to the earth, look at what you have done. When you gave birth to the rest of creation, you gave birth to reason. It would have been better if you had never been created. Then we humans would never have had the power of reasoning. But as it is now, our reason grows up with us and then torment us, because we realize that we are going to die. Compared to us who must bear this sorrow, the dumb animals must be happy. They are much better off than we are. They do not have to look forward to the judgment. They are not aware of any torment or salvation that is promised to them after death. What good is it to us that we are going to be given life in the future if it is to be a life of terrible torment? Even Everyone who is born is caught in the web of sin, is full of wickedness and burdened with guilt. I think it would be better if after death we die. Wow. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I think it would be better if after death we did not have to face judgment. The angel replied, when the Most High was creating the world as well as Adam and his descendants, the first thing he did was to get everything ready for the judgment. Wow. So you ought to learn from your own words. You said that your reason grows up with you, and that's the point. The people of this world used their reason and sinned. They received Elohim's commands but did not keep them. They accepted the law and then disobeyed it. And that's why they will suffer torment. What excuse can they offer at the judgment? How can they answer at the last day? Elohim the Most High has been very patient, yes he has, with the people of this world for a long time, but it has not been for their sake. He has done it for the sake of the age to come. Then I asked, Sir, may I ask you, then I said, Sir, may I ask you, please to explain to me what happens when we die. When each of us must give back our soul, we will be kept at rest until the time when you begin to make your new creation, or will our torment begin immediately? I will answer that question also, he replied, but do not include yourself among those who will be tormented. I won't either, because they have no use for religion. After all, you have a treasure of good works stored up with Elohim the Most High, which will not be shown to you until the last days. I'll read that again. After all, you have a treasure of good works stored up with Elohim the Most High, which will not be shown to you until the last days. But to answer your question about death, when Elohim the Most High has pronounced the final decree that a person shall die, the soul leaves the body to return to the one who gave it. Immediately, it praises the glory of the Elohim Most High. Let me explain first about people who had no use for the ways of our Most High and hated those who worshipped him. Okay, there's more. This is a lot, you guys. It is a lot to take in. As you see, I just read some stuff I never heard before. Like after the 400 years and everyone dying, I'm just reading what's in here, okay? I once again, I'm speechless. You guys let me know your thoughts.